So I've done video on this before, but just wanted to do it again. It's not like it costs me anything to do a video anytime I want to do, even though I've done it several times. So somebody asked a question, more like sent me WhatsApp messages saying he is having overheating issue with his EW12J4 2.2 liter petrol engine is Peugeot 407 automatic transmission with 4 HP 20 ZF. So I don't know. He said if I got him right, that the overheating issue has been there for like about 6 years now. So I'm really surprised if that is the case. However, um, so he wanted to know. Of course, I asked him a few questions like if he has ruled out the thermostat and the water pump. So the information I got was from him was that the water pump, the thermostat has been removed. But I didn't actually understand what he was saying. It's as if they even removed that's they don't use it in their country. I don't know. It appears to be an African country, but not Nigeria, because he sent me a video and it's right hand drive vehicle. So I don't know which probably one of the African countries that use right hand drive cars like Kenya and the rest. Okay, so um so what I'm going to first, like I said, he kind of made it sound like the thermostat was removed long ago, unless I didn't understand what he meant. But if that is the case, that's a very wrong thing to do, to remove the thermostat and assume that's you're not, that you're not supposed to run your engine, use the vehicle with the engine cooling system thermostat. In fact, doing it is just like condemning that engine. It's not just the cooling system. We are killing that engine by removing that thermostat. I've done videos on that. I don't think I'll waste much time on it. So, but in this case, I will simply keep silent on the absence of thermostat since we are trying to troubleshoot overheating issue. However, in my own case, if I want to troubleshoot overheating, I will put thermostat. I don't care whether the car is overheating or not. As long as the thermostat has been ruled out to be okay, I will leave it in that system. If the system doesn't even have thermostat and is overheating, I will get one and put. The reason why it's good to have that thermostat there is you need that engine to pressurize itself to, get as hot as it can, so that any weak part of the cooling system will show itself at that time. What's the point removing the thermostat and only for you to find out, oh, this is what is probably causing the overheating? You change it, then only for you to drive out and the car start overheating again, not knowing that there's more than one issue or component that is causing that overheating, and you only solved one until you now drive the car and push it a little bit out or put on AC, then the overheating comes up again. So put back the thermostat, bleed the system well, then watch what happens. If the cars are overheating, then you appreciate the function of thermostat, because it will help you to find out what is causing the overheating. Removing it is a kind of very bad practice, and it's a very big abuse on that vehicle. So what I'm going to do in this video is just to show you how you can actually troubleshoot or test if water pump is still working or not. That's the main reason of my doing this video. So anybody who is interested to troubleshoot a water pump, to rule out, let me just say, to rule out that the water pump is the cause or not the cause. This is what I'm trying to do. So how to test water pump without removing it from the engine. It's very easy. Just all you need to do is just understand it. Now, it depends on your model Peugeot vehicle that you want to troubleshoot. There's what we call expansion, coolant expansion tank, or coolant reservoir, or coolant tank. Call it whatever you want to call it. So as you can see in the picture, I'm pointing at the reservoir cover. So you can see that tank. That place my finger is pointing at is the cover of the tank. So that thing that is under that cover is the expansion tank. That's the coolant expansion tank or coolant reservoir. So when you want to test the water pump to know if your water pump is good or not, or if that is the cause of overheating, just look for that coolant expansion tank. Or even your radiator. Let's assume your Peugeot car, maybe it's even 505 or 504, and they don't use I know 504 did not have expansion tank. At least the GL. I've forgotten about the phase 2 model or that model, but I know the phase 1 like GL, I don't think they have expansion tank, coolant expansion tank, or coolant reservoir. So but for this one, so for those who don't, the Peugeot car that don't have it, of course it means you probably pour the coolant through the radiator directly. So in this case, you can also apply same method, same thing I'm doing here. What I'm pointing at, assume that is also the radiator cover or radiator cap. So make sure it's tight enough. I'm not saying tight it so bad that you can't be able to unscrew it or remove the cap. So leave it the way normally it is. Don't open it. That's why I'm pointing at it. Leave it covered for you to do this test. Do not lose it or leave it open. And of course, what it means is also make sure that there's enough coolant or water in the system. Of course, if your car is overheating, there's no point putting coolant. You have to use water till you detect the cause of the overheating, deal with it before you go back to use coolant. So so leave it close, the cover close. Then now this is where I get tricky, because it may differ from other Peugeot cars. Now this is what we call, this is one of the cooling system line, or you also call it cooling system hoses. So this particular one goes into the cabin, that is into the car interior. In other words, it goes straight to the heater, which is under the dashboard. So the heater, that if you want your car, inside your car, to heat up during cold temperature or weather, you just put it on. So this one goes straight to the heater. There are about 2 of them. One usually goes in, then comes out. So for some Peugeot cars, you see something that looks like a nipple on one of those hoses very close to the heater matrix. You can see this is where this span is actually what divide or demarcate the interior from the engine bay. So you can see this small nipple on this hose with that small cover on it. I think from 1995, or probably earlier than that, but at least I know from the 90s, almost all Peugeot cars have this. I think even at least I know 508. Yeah, I think 508 too has it. So I can't tell for every Peugeot car, but like I said, it became a standard from the 90s, at least as early as 95, or maybe earlier before then. They all have this. The shape might differ. The shape might differ, but just know that they all have this thing, this bleed screw or bleed point for the cooling system. So locate it. Even 505 has it. Yes, I'm telling you, 505, whether phase 1 or phase 2, as long as it was produced from 1979, they have this. The only thing is, the one they have, like for the fuel carbureted engine, entered, uh, the hose that have this thing goes to the carburetor. While for the EFI engines, the one that have it, for example, the V6, the upper radiator hose has this bleed nipple or bleed screw. So it all depends on model. All I know is all Peugeot 505 have this. I can't speak for 504. I don't remember exactly. I know it's possible he has it too, because I know, yeah, he should. But let me just say, at least from 505, but 504 should have it as well. If it's not there, it means it was removed, not that it was not there from factory or from brand new. So someone removed it in the process or cut it off. So locate it. So it should be in any Peugeot, all Peugeot cars. I cannot speak for the 2019 or 2018, but I know generally all Peugeot cars have this. So locate it, then I'm not saying then unscrew it, remove that cover, just unscrew it. It depends. It could look like a bolt, plastic bolt. It could look like whatever it is. It's where you're meant to bleed the cooling system. Some cooling system might have more than one. Some may have on the thermostat housing, some may have on the radiator as well. So this is one of them. Just locate it. So then unscrew it. If you remove that thing, water will not come out. Yeah, of course, you may just drop a little bit, it will not come out. As long as this, let me go back. As long as this cover is closed, this coolant expansion tank cover is closed, the water will not come out when you remove that. Or as long as your radiator cover is closed, water will not come out if you unscrew this. I'm just showing you various different pictures so that you understand what I mean. You can see I even pointed at that close to the nipple. I didn't want to point my finger on that cover so that my finger will not block it, because it's a very small, looks like a knob or something. So unscrew it, and then you see, once you screw it, it will come out, even though the system is filled with coolant or water. Then this is a 2-man's work. You need somebody else to be able to do this test. You can't do it alone, otherwise you won't be able to get the result you need or confirm what you are trying to do, because what you are trying to confirm is whether your water pump is good or not. Now, so you unscrew it, leave it open, don't worry about it, water will not come out or coolant will not gush out. Then you go to the engine, like ask the second person with you that will help you to run this test. Ask the person to start the vehicle. Of course, the car should, if it's manual, it should be on neutral with your handbrake on, or as it keep the car not to move. That's what I mean. Handbrake, or put some weight on the vehicle to hold it from moving. Leave it on neutral and start the vehicle. Allow the engine to idle. The engine will be running without any acceleration. That's what I mean. Allow it to run, or if you're automatic, put it on park or neutral. But just leave it on park. If it's automatic, start the vehicle, allow the engine to run. Like I said, it's a 2-man work. Then your eye should be here on that nipple when you start the engine. When you start the engine, you could see just small drop. It may come out, slowly. Just be dropping, pam, 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 something like that. That's what you might be experiencing. Or may not even come out, but you experience just small pam, 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 pam. It won't flow. Water will not flow continuously. No, you just be dropping pam, pam, pam. Then what you now do is you tell the person, while you are still looking at this nipple that you remove the cover from, you remove the cover of that nipple, or the bolt or whatever that is on that hose. Tell whoever that is inside the vehicle to now accelerate the car to the floor. Yeah, push it as hard as the person can. Let him accelerate it at least close to the floor, then release his leg. something like, wow. I'm using my mouth so I understand it. So you don't say, I don't, you didn't understand what I mean, accelerate hard and release. Now you understand what I mean by, wow, meaning you press it hard and remove your leg immediately. Let the engine accelerate RPM, let the RPM shoot up close to maybe 4,000, a little bit higher or low, just low. Let it, at least let it be over 4,000 RPM. No matter what, let it be over 4,000 or minimum of 4,000. Minimum of 4,000 RPM. I will go higher if I were you, but for example, if it's diesel, diesel may not go that high. So minimum of 4,000 at least, but go as high as you can. Then take your foot off the accelerator. That's what you explain to the person that will do it, because you need to be the one to do this test by looking on that, on this particular valve that I showed you with unscrewed. While you are looking at it, tell the person to accelerate, take his foot off. Immediately he does that, see what's going to happen. If the water pump is good, as he removes the leg from the accelerator pedal, as the engine is deaccelerating, as in, what I mean deaccelerating, as it's doing, as it's coming back, as the RPM is dropping, or as the engine sound is dropping from that high sound to the normal sound where it was before it's accelerated it, water will now gush out with force from that nipple. I'll repeat it again. When the engine is deaccelerating, wow, as it's dropping, as the engine sound is dropping low, water will gush out from that nipple. You will see, you just do, and gradually it will reduce again. If that happens, it means your water pump is good. If it doesn't happen, your water pump is not good. I hope this makes clear. Now, you might ask me, what does that mean? Water pump can fail in various ways. It could be leaking. It could be, if it's leaking, it may still even go push out this water. But the reason is why I'm saying water pump is not good, because if the blade on that water pump or the turbine attached on that water pump that's supposed to spin the water, if it has broken, it will no longer be able to put that pressure to push that water outside that place, outside that hole. But if it's leaking, you don't even necessarily need to do this, because if water pump is leaking, all you need to do is to find out where is the location of the water pump. Then you start the engine and look under there. If there is water dropping from there, you know your water pump is leaking. The only thing you need to just to confirm is now to strip that area to see the water pump, probably bring it out and look at it physically. If there is a leakage there, you see it will be very clear. Even though the blade or the turbine attached on it may still be good, I may still be circulating water, but it will still cause overheating, and it may likely push water through that that hole, this hole you are looking at now on this picture. If you probably push it, though the pressure won't be as high as the one that is still good if it's leaking, because if it's leaking, it will lose pressure. Because that's even what is causing the overheat. It's no longer circulating water very fast, so or even if it does, it's losing pressure, so the engine will overheat. So at least now you know, if you want to confirm if your water pump is good or not. That's, you've checked everything, you did not see any leakage from anywhere, but you don't know if your water pump is the cause or not. If you do this thing and if water gush out, don't touch your water pump. Look for something else. That's the cause, not the water pump. Now, I want to talk about another thing to do. Now, there are also ways of checking if what could be causing the overheating on your Peugeot engine. How to troubleshoot overheating. For example, you are traveling. I've done this several times. If I have not just even articles, I've written it or posts various times. If your car is overheating and you could tell that it has exceeded 100 degrees Celsius and water is gushing out from the reservoir tank or whatever, first thing you do is, of course, switch off your engine, then open your bonnet. You go straight to the radiator. On the radiator, you find each radiator, each project radiator, every one single one of them, whether it was produced in 1930 or was produced just yesterday, every project radiator has two hoses. Standard, two hoses. There could be other one. What I mean standard means, yes, some radiator may have up to 3 hoses attached on them. In that case, like the one for automatic may have up to 4. But what I mean by 2 hoses means at least from the 504 days, every one of them have two hoses. Then the modern one, they started apart from the 2 hoses, they started to attach to or to include just a little bit, maybe additional one small hoses on them, which probably takes care of vapor or whatever. So, but the 2 hoses, the standard 2 hoses are the biggest you will find on each radiator if you are using a project. So if you open your body, look at your radiator, both from the upper part of it to the lower, or from the left side to the right side, look at it, the hoses attached on them. The biggest two you find there, that's what you should focus on this test, not the other smaller ones if they have more than 2 hoses. So the biggest 2 hoses on your radiator is what you should do this test on. One is assumed to be, or is supposed to be the upper part or the lower side. It depends on the design of the radiator. Sometimes some hoses are placed on the side instead of on the upper or the lower. So like this one is actually on the side, on the left side of the radiator. So one is on top of the other. So it still means the 2 biggest sources. So if your engine is overheating and you are very sure it's overheating, as in for most time, if it's a modern project, it start telling you coolant temperature too high. So it'll be very obvious. Open your bonnet, go to your radiator, then touch both. Before you go there, I know the engine will be very hot. Engine bay per se, not just the engine. So almost every part of anything that has metal there will be hot. Even the hose itself, any hose that is, is expected to be very hot. So be very careful so that your hand will not touch things that could burn your skin. However, you need to do this so I know what to do, what you are dealing with, rather than beating about the bush. Open the radiator, go your bonnet, go straight to the 2 biggest hoses on the radiator. Touch them. When I mean touch, I mean use your fingers and touch to feel each of them. If any of them, both of them are expected to be very hot at that time if your engine is overheating. But if you do it and you now realize that only one is hot while the other one is very cold, or just a little bit cold but not as, not too cold, maybe a little bit warm, something like that, yeah, your car is overheating. But one is very hot that it can even burn your hand, one of those sources, while the other one is still cold. What it means is this: 3 things. One, there is air pocket in that your engine is having, or your cooling system is having air pocket issue or airlock, whichever one. What that means is there is air in the system, and that air is causing this overheating. All you need to do is to build it out. Or, like I said, 3 things can be the cause. Or the second one is your thermostat has failed by staying shut or closed completely, permanently. It doesn't open anymore. So because of that, it turns the car into overheating, or turns the engine to overheat. The third one is, or your water pump has failed. So it's no longer circulating the coolant. So because of that, one part of the engine, one part of the hose is now hotter than the other. So these 3 things will be the cause. At least now you know. But it's not late for you to identify which one out of these 3. So in this case, the easiest one to do is to bleed the system. So I don't need to start touching anything, because You can't, when your engine is on, you can't do that test I explained earlier. That is to open this bleed valve. Let me go to it again. To open this valve or this knob to accelerate, you can't even, if you touch it, it's going to be terrible. So don't even bother. Engine has to cool down before you can do this kind of test. So the best time to do it is when in the morning, or when engine, every part of the engine is cold, including the coolant or water in the system. But once your car start overheating, just forget about this test, this particular one. And the first one I explained. You can't do it. Don't even bother. Unless you are some Superman. But to be honest, don't try to do it at that time. So, like I said, if any of the hoses is cold or just a little bit warm, while the other one is very hot, yet the engine is overheating, vomiting water, it means one of the hoses, air is in the system and need to be bled out for the overheating to stop. Two, your thermostat has failed and stays closed permanently. Three, your water pump has failed, in the sense that probably the shaft on it that turns water or spins water has rusted and disintegrated or have broken, so it's no longer doing its work. Now, one more thing before we go. Now, this particular cap, now let me zoom in so I understand it. This cap, which is the cover of the expansion tank, coolant expansion tank, can also cause overheating. It depends on the design. Some looks like that of the model you put on radiator. You know, even the radiator one, so there are some radiator one that looks like this one, like the one on 505 phase 2. This is how it looks like. I'm not saying this is more like the design, but the shape are different. It doesn't have any metal on it, so it all depends. But all I'm saying is each of them have seals that prevents water from coming out, except when the system starts to overheat. You have to force itself out somehow. So this cover can also cause overheating if those seals have failed and it doesn't hold pressure anymore. It can. So what I'm saying is, just because water is gushing out or coolant is gushing out from this place, this cover, when the engine starts overheating, does not necessarily mean the cover is bad. But it could also be the cause. It could also mean it's bad. But I'm saying it's not because it's water is coming out from there means the cover is bad. No. There are ways, depending on this. For example, this particular model, there's a way you can check. I've done written article on this sometime. I'm not sure I've done video. Maybe I've done. There's a seal somewhere inside it, about two seals. One blocks the external part of it. The other one is inside. The one inside, if you blow it and it blows through, then it has failed. The exterior one, if the seal has shrink or has broken or cut, it has failed. So maybe one have time I'll do that. But I'm saying most times it's easiest way for people who are not technical or don't know how to do it is to put another cover to see if it will cure the overheating issue. Right? So, and it's very, very cheap. In fact, like all from 206, 406, 407, 508, they all use the same cover. That was even 607, 807. Basically, almost all Peugeot cars produced from 95 upwards. I can't remember about 2000. They all use this same type of coolant expansion tank cover. So you can try and use this and just buy it. They are cheap, original one. Try and see if your overheating will stop. So, but there's a way to test it. But like I said, we won't be able to do it on this video because the pictures I have will not capture it. Or not help you to understand how to do it. Maybe to do that test is probably not going to be a picture video thing. I have to do live thing so you to understand. So at least now you understand how you can test or that troubleshoot your engine if it's overheating. That troubleshoot overheating issue in your Peugeot car. How to eliminate your thermostat, your water pump, and or how to lose them out to know if that they are the cause, and also things what can actually cause this overheating, or depending on the symptom you have. Of course, fan can also cause it. So if you've done everything, like you've tested the water pump is gushing, water is gushing out from here, your thermostat is intact, the car maybe doesn't even have thermostat at the time yet, it's doing this, what is it called, and your radiator cover is what is it called, um trying to remember, your this the expansion tank cover or your radiator cover is okay, and you know, all these things I mentioned, you've tested and ruled them out and they're all okay, yet the car is still overheating and there's no air in the system, it's still overheating, then probably three more things. It's either your radiator is the cause, maybe it has blocked inside those things, or your what's it called, that's all this I'm saying. If there's no leakage, remember what I'm saying is, if you've confirmed that there's no physical leakage anywhere, yet your car is overheating, not, you don't need to start doing all this. If you've seen you've seen a pronounced leakage where water is gushing out or coming out as soon as you start the engine, there's no point now. That's the first thing you need to sort out to stop the leakage. So, but if you confirm there's no leakage, there is likely the radiator is blocked or is bad and is causing the overheating. Or probably you've yeah, radiator I would say, or most times if you have at some point change your head gasket and put fake one, that's where another thing people take for granted. If you have a overheating issue in the past or something, you needed to change something on the engine, you remove the gasket and put a fake one, it will not last. What will happen is, over time, give it 1 year, 2 years, 2 years at most, it will fail and start causing this overheating. So don't my point is, just because I've not mentioned head gasket, what I mean head gasket, I'm talking about engine cylinder head gasket. Just because I didn't talk about it does not necessarily mean it will not cause overheating. But it usually fails when another component in the car, or another engine cooling system component fails. That's when you now get to gasket. That's if, let's assume your water pump fails, you keep running the engine like that, it keeps overheating, keeps running the engine with that overheating issue. Eventually, it's going to affect the head gasket, so you have to change it. Or maybe you have that issue in the past, you sorted it out and put fake or low quality head gasket. It will not last, even when all the cooling systems are intact. Over time, or may not even last up to 3 years. 3 years, they will say you want water, it will fail and start overheating. So for the guy who because of that, the person I'm doing this video, at least now you understand what could be the cause. So you can now take your time and start checking some of these things. Could be your fake gasket, or I don't know. And make sure that you did not bypass any cooling system hose, because that's another thing. If you go and start blocking all these hoses, or you take cooling system hose A and connect it to where cooling system hose B is supposed to be, it will cause overheating. So make sure that all your cooling system hoses are connected on the engine or the radiator on the right way, the where they're supposed to be. You did not mismatch any of the hoses on the wrong hose or places. Okay, I think that's all for this video.